The whole town knew Cade Lawson was built like a mountain and twice as stubborn. He filled every doorway he stepped through, broad shoulders stretching the seams of his flannel, dark hair brushing his collar. Folks said he could lift a saddle one-handed and wrestle a steer without breaking a sweat. But what they didn't know, what only a few ever noticed, was the careful way he moved around others, as if he feared his own strength, especially around her. Mara Bennett had arrived in town with a suitcase, a teaching certificate, and a gaze that never once dipped when a man looked her way. She was new to Dusty Ridge, but she carried herself like she owned every inch of the wooden sidewalks. The first time she walked into the saloon, conversation stilled. Not because she was loud or flashy, because she wasn't. She was steady. Cade had been leaning against the bar, long legs crossed at the ankle, when she slid onto the stool beside him. He'd felt her presence before she even spoke, like a spark catching dry hay. "You're in my seat," she'd said calmly. He'd looked down at her, one brow lifting. "Didn't see your name carved in it." She didn't smile. "Didn't see yours either." The bartender had nearly dropped a glass. Cade moved. From that moment on, something restless stirred between them. Weeks passed in stolen glances and sharp-tongued exchanges. She'd challenge him at every turn, about ranching, about books, about whether strength was measured in muscle or mind. "You think you scare me?" she asked one evening as they stood outside the schoolhouse, dusk painting the sky in shades of amber. "I don't try to," he replied. "But you warn me," she said softly, "every time you look at me like that." He'd exhaled slowly. "I'm too big for you." The words weren't arrogance. They were caution. She tilted her head. "Big men fall just as hard as small ones." He stepped closer, boots scraping against gravel. "You don't understand." "Then make me." He didn't, not then. But the tension between them thickened like a summer storm. It broke the night of the harvest dance. Lanterns glowed from the rafters of the barn, music spilling into the warm air. Mara wore a deep blue dress that shimmered when she moved, her hair pinned loosely at her neck. Cade hadn't planned on attending, but when he saw her laughing with the blacksmith's son, something primal tightened in his chest. He crossed the floor in long strides. She noticed him immediately. Of course she did. "Care to dance?" he asked, voice low. "You don't dance," she replied. "For you, maybe." The music shifted into a slow melody. His hand settled at her waist, careful, always careful. She could feel the restraint in his touch, the way he kept space between them as though she might shatter. "I won't break," she murmured. His jaw tightened. "You don't know that." Instead of answering, she closed the distance herself. The room seemed to disappear. There was only the heat of him,